I have received a ton of garbage advice throughout the course of my life and throughout my career. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over the 13 rules that I live by that have helped me to continue my pathway towards having some success. Now, the very first thing is that I never blindly believe someone. Now, just think about it. We all know someone that gives you that blind stock tip, that hot political gossip, the water cooler gossip at the office. We all know somebody like that, right? When I was first coming up, I used to just believe what people were telling me because I don't know. I can't tell you why I did, but I used to just believe people and I took them at face value. Now, this is not to say that you shouldn't take people at face value and you should be cynical of everyone, but you should absolutely trust but verify. You should be doing your own research, your own due diligence, no matter what it is. You got a new stock tip? I'll take that information, but I'm going to do my own research before I invest my money into it. You're trying to sway me from a political perspective. I'm going to go out, I'm going to do my own research and formulate my own opinion. That's how I operate. Trust, but verify. Number 2, the road to success is a journey that you're going to have to take by yourself. And here's what I mean by that. Anytime you start something new, there's going to be people that you've known for the entirety of your life that are going to be questioning what you're doing. When people know you, they know you as one way. They see you as one way. So when Mike starts trying to figure out how to get his MBA, and all of his people that he's known throughout the entirety of his life can't see him getting that MBA and pursuing a career, then they're not going to support you. Now, this shouldn't make you angry. You just have to understand the psychology of people. When people know you one way, it's really difficult for them to see you any other way. Don't let the people that know you the best discourage you from becoming a better version of yourself. Because once you start down that path to trying to have some success, you're going to look left, you're going to look right, and there's often not going to be anyone standing next to you. The third rule is family over everything. And when I say family over everything, if you're married, you have kids, your parents, that is more important than going out and earning a bunch of money and having a bunch of material things. Now, I will put the caveat on there that family is everything, provided that they're good to you, that you guys have a good relationship, you haven't had some trauma in the past or anything like that. But if you come from a normal, everyday family where people support each other and they love each other, that's much more important than any accolade that you can go out there and get. Because family is always going to have your back, even when times get tough. Have you ever heard the saying that you are the sum of the people that you spend the most of your time with? There's a reason that people say that. Your friend group and your circle group is the ceiling to what your success is going to look like. So if you hang out with 5 people that hang around all day, they just go to the bar, getting high, whatever they're doing, you're going to be the 6th person. You're going to be the 6th person in that group that's going to be doing those things, and any of the goals that you had set out for yourself are likely not going to be accomplished. There's a reason why you look at very successful people. They often surround themselves with people that are like-minded, not because they want to leave the people behind that they've known throughout the entirety of their life. It's because those are the people that challenge them, push them to be better, give them ideas, right? Because whenever you are in flow mode and flow state and you're really trying to go after it and get it, you want to be around like-minded people because you thrive off of each other. Look, I'm not saying that you can never go out and hang out with people that you grew up with, but you definitely are the sum of the people that you associate yourself with. The next rule, health is the ultimate wealth. So you see me out here walking and having conversations with you guys, and that's intentional. Number 1, I can create content and be real and personable with you guys, but also to help me on my health journey, right? I'm 45 years old right now, not getting any younger, and I really have a renewed focus on taking care of my health. Now, I usually work out, lift weights 4 to 5 days a week, but I need to incorporate more cardio type stuff into my life. And this helps me to accomplish that. The next rule that I live by is that college is not a scam. There's a lot of people out there nowadays that are telling you that college is a scam, it's not worth it, it's a waste of money. I think that's true to a certain extent, but it also depends on how you're pursuing your educational goals. If you are someone that's going to go to school, take out a massive amount of loans, and get a degree in underwater basket weaving, and then complain that you have $200,000 in student loan debt and no one will hire you, I really don't have any sympathy for you. But if you go to school and you get a degree in a STEM field, science, technology, engineering, and math, you're going to have a much better opportunity to have a career that's going to actually pay you an above average wage. See, when we have these conversations about education, we need to put qualifiers on it, right? All things are not created equal. You can't put someone that's going into pre-med on the same footing as someone that's going to get a degree in communications. The next rule is that where you go to school doesn't matter as much as you think that it does. Now, this is going to burn a few people up, especially if you went to a really expensive, really prestigious college and you wear that as a badge of honor. I'm not trying to knock you off your pedestal, but I can tell you, being in corporate America for over 20 years, not once has where I got my degree, my undergraduate, and my MBA at, prevented me from being able to get a job or excel in the corporate America space. I have my MBA from West Virginia University, WVU, and I can tell you that has not stopped me from climbing that corporate ladder, getting those promotions, and making a lot of money along the way. Just so you know, where you go to school doesn't matter as much as you think it does. The next rule, if it's too good to be true, go with your gut. Look, in this world, if someone is promising you fast financial gains through trading, being able to scale up a business that you don't have to actually put work into, right? Drop shipping, for example, then it's probably too good to be true. Now, that's not to say that there aren't people out there that can successfully day trade, that can successfully set up drop shipping companies and make millions of dollars. But I believe that they're the anomalies. They're not the everyday person. It's great to sell you a course, but will it really work for you? Maybe, but it's one of the rules that I live by that I'm just not willing to bend on. The next rule is that the anti-car crowd is loud, but I think they're wrong. Look, I'm a car guy by heart. I have purchased cars throughout the entirety of my life. Whenever I was in my 20s, I didn't purchase them right. Whenever I was in my early 30s, still didn't purchase them right. But as I've gotten older, I understand that there is a way that you can purchase a vehicle that you want and that you love if you do it the right way. So for example, if I like cars, but I don't care about traveling, fine dining, or wasting money on subscriptions, then I think that's perfectly fine. We have to get out of this. You have to be ultra conservative in order to actually be able to get ahead. Now, true, you need to have some guardrails in place, but why are we out here working for our entire lives just to save a bunch of money that we can never use? Be smart about it, be strategic, and you can pretty much do whatever you want. The next rule is protect what you've built. There's nothing worse than building out a 6+ figure investment portfolio in the stock market or in real estate or in business, but you haven't done the proper things to protect your investment by getting either the proper insurance, if you're a business, moving your rental properties into LLC, if you're trying to scale that up as a business, or you're just making bad investments in the stock market or in general. You have to understand that it takes a long time to build wealth, but that can disappear in an instant if you're not protecting your assets. The next rule is that I don't try to time my investments. I truly believe that time in the market is more efficient for me than trying to time the market. Look, if someone tells you that they can time the market, they know when a stock is going to sell off or when it's going to shoot to the moon, they would be billionaires and they would be on CNBC, they'd be a talking head, and everyone would go to them for investing advice. So if you run into someone that tells you they know exactly how a position is going to move, I would go back to point one, which is Go and do your due diligence before you just blindly trust someone. If you're getting some value from this video, consider subscribing. And while you're at it, hit that like button and hype me up. I would really appreciate it. The next rule is that failure doesn't mean that you failed. Look, I truly believe that in order to have some success and be wildly successful in hitting your goals, failure is part of the process. If you're afraid to try something new because you're afraid that you're going to fail, afraid that someone that you know may judge you, someone that you know is going to start questioning why you're doing what you're doing, that you don't want what you say you want bad enough. Because I can tell you there are tons of things that I've tried and failed. And that has not discouraged me from getting back up and either trying that again or realizing like, hey, maybe that's not the direction that I need to be going in, and I need to change up my focus and what I'm doing. Never be afraid of failure. And then the last rule is that even though you may fail, whether that's with investing, a business, a career, whatever it is, 99% of the time you can recover from what you failed from. So just because you started that business and it failed, or you tried to get that degree and it failed, or you invested in someone else's business and it failed, that doesn't mean that you cannot recover and still become the best version of yourself. These are 13 rules that I've incorporated in my life over the past 15 plus years or so. And following these have helped me to become more successful than I ever have throughout the entirety of my life. What do you guys think about the rules that I laid out in today's video? Would you agree? Do you disagree? And what would you add to these to ensure that you could also have some success throughout the entirety of your life?